Many question marks surrounded Manchester United prior to the signing of Bruno Fernandes. Is Ole the man to lead this project? Are any of the current batch worthy of playing in the midfield? Who will Pogba eventually be transferring to? But with Bruno's arrival, the entire perspective on the club has changed. Not only have positive results been easier to come by, but the goals have been flowing in, and players who had question marks next to their names are thriving. But before we look at how he's lifted the club, let's consider what United looked like prior to his arrival. Under Solskjaer and even under Mourinho before him, United's main issue was an inability to break down teams that sat deep. Hence why United's record against the top teams had been great under Solskjaer. With the personnel they had, or if you want, the lack of a creative spark in the midfield, they were built to invite pressure and hurt teams on the counter. But while they were doing well against the likes of Manchester City, they were also floundering against teams that a club of United's stature is expected to defeat. 8 days before Bruno Fernandes had arrived at United, they lost their second match on the trot against Burnley, 2-0 at Old Trafford, an embarrassment, having lost to their eternal rivals Liverpool just 3 days before that. But the Liverpool loss, with the way Liverpool had been playing, would have been expected by everyone. The Burnley loss, however, was yet another example of a poor habit that was becoming a problem at United. They, quote, lacked ideas, in the words of Solskjaer, and were jeered off the pitch by their own fans. Their other losses in the Premier League had been to Crystal Palace at home, West Ham away, Newcastle United away, the relegation fodder, that is Bournemouth away, another relegation candidate in Watford away. I mean, truly foul results in matches that they should be winning. This was a massive detraction from Ole's work at United, and hey, let's be completely transparent here. I myself cast plenty of doubt on his ability as a manager in the past. And while I do think that had he been anyone other than a Manchester United legend, he wouldn't have been given as much time, the signing of Bruno Fernandes has shown how not only does United look much better now, with some creativity in their midfield, but they look like they will be a genuine threat to City and Liverpool next season. As said before, their record against top teams was never really the issue. It was the record against the bottom half of the table that was the problem. And now that they have found the key to unlocking the defenses of those teams that sit deep, now that they have the creativity, it's no wonder they've shot up the standings. They went from being a Europa League candidate to looking like they will indeed be amongst the top 4 next season if they can carry on with this trajectory. Maybe even this season. And to think, much of this is down to the arrival of one player. Prior to Bruno arriving at United, I did a mini bio on his career pre-United, and I said,
to me, Bruno has what it takes to be an excellent Premier League player. If he's given the license to be creative in an advanced role, not too deep, we're talking attacking midfielder here, and not too wide. And if he's given time to adapt, he could become an extremely important player for United. And at the absolute barest minimum, he's better than the options United currently have as far as attacking midfielders go. He really could be one of the missing pieces to Ole's puzzle.
And I think that Bruno has more than delivered in that regard. As of July 9th, he has contributed towards 15 goals and 15 appearances across all competitions for United since joining them on January 30th. And no other player has been involved in more Premier League goals than Bruno since his arrival. In 10 Premier League appearances, he has been involved in 13 goals now and had equaled the record set by Robin van Persie and Eric Cantona for the shortest amount of time, 9 matches, to reach 10 Premier League goal involvements. In that run of games, he and his United teammates haven't tasted defeat once, across all competitions, not just in the Premier League. On top of this, and this is just a side note, if you consider the matches played in the Premier League since Bruno arrived, and I'm sorry this won't include the Aston Villa match, as that was the 10th match he's taken part in, but it wouldn't change anything anyways because United won, and United are ranked first since Bruno's arrival in the Premier League. The only team not to lose, and with an improved attack and defense. And contributing to so many goals is nothing new for a guy who basically carried Sporting on his back at times. His 2 goals and 2 assists in Sporting's 4-0 win over PSV in November is a good encapsulation of the sparkling sort of performances he was putting in for Sporting regularly. And despite a rather unremarkable debut for United in a 0-0 draw with Wolves, he has been flying high with his teammates since then. Following United's 3-0 defeat of Watford towards the end of February, where Fernandes had a goal and an assist, a team they lost 2-0 to prior to Fernandes joining, by the way, Solskjaer said, quote, "He has come in and given everyone a big boost, not just the team, the supporters too. He felt from the first minute like a big personality in our group. He was confident straight away and is like a mix between Scholes and Veron." Confidence is one of the biggest intangibles in football. It can be the difference between a solid team and a great team. And confidence can be infectious. That confidence has bled into the rest of the squad. Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial had been standout performers for United prior to Bruno's arrival, and Mason Greenwood had shown signs of tremendous ability. However, prior to Bruno joining United, there were plenty of question marks surrounding the midfield that supported those attackers. While the quality of many United midfielders had been questioned throughout the season, the quality of Paul Pogba is, for most at least, unquestionable. There were, however, some questions as to how United's midfield would line up with both Bruno and Pogba in the team. Would there be room for both in an advanced role? Once United and in turn Pogba's form cooled off towards the end of the 2018-19 season, the summer of 2019 brought rumors abound that Pogba wanted to leave United. Constant injuries and the souring of his relationship with sixth of the Manchester United faithful gave the impression that Pogba was frustrated with the lack of quality he had to deal with in the midfield and that he was disinterested in playing for the club anymore. That their ambitions and the direction they were going in didn't meet his own expectations. You got the feeling that the entire United midfield, besides perhaps McTominay and an improving Fred, was low on confidence, perhaps too often listening to the fans and the media about their lack of quality. However, in bringing Bruno to the team, everything has seemed to change. After United's recent win over Brighton, Solskjaer said, quote, "I've got more than one game changer. We have some top players and Bruno has come and been fantastic. He has brought that winning mentality with him. That 99% is not good enough. It has to be 100%. It's a joy to watch them when you see them express themselves like that." That was just the second match in which Pogba and Fernandes had started alongside each other in the United midfield, and the prospects of them featuring together for many more matches seems bright. With Bruno playing in behind the attackers and Pogba just slightly deeper than him, but ahead of Matic, United's midfield seems to have nailed down their personnel. Hell, even Matic's latest performances have been an unexpected byproduct of the harmony in United's midfield now, as the Serbian signed a new contract in early July. As United's midfield anchor, he gives the freedom to both Pogba and Bruno to push forward and create and supply Martial, Rashford, and Greenwood with the service they had been dying for pre-Bruno. He's helped bring the joy back, and not just for the supporters, but the rest of the squad, including Pogba. As mentioned before, from the outside looking in, it seemed as if Pogba was ready to move on. But in an exclusive interview with the club on July 9th, Pogba's entire demeanor has changed significantly. Quote, "From behind, I just enjoy it. I'm enjoying just watching Bruno, Rashford, Martial, and Mason, who all played the last game, and seeing them score goals. You just keep applauding. It's beautiful. They make me enjoy football every time. We play more as a team than we did before. We enjoy it even more. We defend together. We attack together. And this team is stronger as well." From allegedly wanting to leave to enjoying his football perhaps more than he ever has at United, and like clockwork, rumors of Pogba looking to extend his United contract have been abound. It could be seen as a stretch to say that Bruno has changed Pogba's perspective on United, as there has been improvements across the entire squad, even in defense. But to say that Bruno has been the catalyst to a lot of this change, now that can't be considered a stretch in the slightest. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and want to find your way back to the channel, then be sure to hit the subscribe button. But other than that, I'm Adrian, this is Rabona TV, and we'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.